Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says he's committed to seeing through positive reform programs for the country. The president made the commitment in his Independence Day broadcast to the nation. Among promises made by the president is the introduction of provisional wage increment of 25,000 naira per month to enhance the federal minimum wage.
It's no joy in seeing the people of this nation shoulder burdens that should have been shared years ago. I wish today's difficulties did not exist, but we must endure if we have to reach the good side of our future. My government is doing all that it can do to ease the load. I will now outline the path we are taking to relieve the stress on our families and households. We have embarked on a several sector reform to stabilize the economy, direct fiscal and monetary policy to fight inflation, encourage production, ensure the security of lives and property, and lend more support to the poor and the vulnerable. Based upon our talks with labor, business, and other stakeholders, we are introducing a provisional wage award increment to enhance the federal minimum wage without causing undue inflation. For the next 6 months, the average low-grade worker shall receive an additional 25,000 naira per month. To ensure better grassroots development, we set up an infrastructure support fund for states to invest in critical areas. States have already received funds to provide relief packages against the impact of rising food and other prices. Making the economy more robust by lowering transport costs shall be key. In this regard, we have opened a new chapter in public transportation through the development of cheaper, safer, compressed natural gas, CNG, buses across the nation. These buses will operate at a fraction of current fuel prices, positively affecting transport fare. The new CNG conversion kits will start coming in very soon, as all hands are on deck to fast-track the usual lengthy procurement process. We are also setting up training facilities and workshops across the nation to train and provide new opportunities for the transport operators and entrepreneurs. This is a groundbreaking moment where, as a nation, we embrace more efficient means to power our economy. In making this change, we also make history. I pledged a thorough house cleaning of the den of malvisions the CBN has become. That house cleaning is well underway. A new leadership for the central bank has been constituted. Also, the special investigator will soon present its findings on the past lapses and how to prevent similar recurrences. Henceforth, monetary policy shall be for the benefit of all and not the exclusive province of the powerful and wealthy. Wise tax policy is essential for the economic fairness and development. I have inaugurated a committee on tax reform to improve the efficiency of tax administration in the country and address fiscal policies that are unfair or hinder the business environment and slow our growth. To boost employment and urban incomes, we are providing investment funding for enterprises with greater potential. Similarly, We are increasing investment in micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Commencing this month, the social safety net is being extended through the expansion of the cash transfer programs to an additional 15 million vulnerable households. My administration shall always accord the highest priority to the safety of the people. Inter-service collaboration and intelligence sharing have been enhanced. Our service chiefs have been tasked with the vital responsibility of rebuilding the capacity of our security services. Here, I salute and commend our gallant security forces for keeping us safe and securing our territorial integrity. Many have paid the ultimate sacrifice. We remember them today and their families. We shall equip our forces with the ways and means needed to perform their urgent task on behalf of the people.
Well, all right. Happy Independence Day to our viewers. Happy Independence Day, Shaita. Happy Independence Day, Steve Ayorinde. Our special broadcast today will be about, Nigeria at 63. First, I'd like to say that, the president's speech was quite robust. I thought, he hit a lot of good notes there, especially how he started. He, first of all, commended our founding fathers, saying that, without them, there will be no modern Nigeria. He also admonished those who said that there will be no Nigeria. He says that besides all of our struggle, we're still together. And, we have a lot of differences, but we are going towards peace. But also he hailed his emergence as the seventh consecutive civilian president as well. And, hailed us for, electing him. And he also hailed the subsidy removal. He admonished those that had, insisted that it remain. He talked about the fact that those people will be the ones going around building large homes and leaving, Nigerians to suffer. And he also begged us to stay focused and not be, not let the hardship ruin us at this point. I don't know how much patience we can have, but obviously he talked about that. But I guess the most pressing issue right now is the fact that he talked about that 25,000 naira, additional 25,000 naira for the average workers.
Provisional wage increment.
Provisional wage increment. And he called it an award. I mean, I don't know how that will, Steve, I'm sure that you'll be able to help us out with that if you can. And also the fact that he's trying to increase the, social register safety net to 15 million households. I mean, I hope that will work out.
Yeah.
I mean, we were trying to do the math even while we were watching that. Okay, 30,000 plus 25, that equals to 20. So at this point, it's still very unclear exactly how it's going to pan out. And what he said is, based on the talks with labor, business, and other stakeholders, that this provisional wage increment was supposed to enhance the federal minimum wage without causing undue inflation. And he also said for the next 6 months, so there's even a time caveat there that worries me a bit, because what NLC and even TUC have outside of lots of the things that they've asked for, I don't think they wanted it for it to just last only 6 months, and even to just look at how this wage increase is supposed to help cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. There's been this back and forth as to whether is fuel subsidy really truly gone, and if it is gone, how exactly is the money that is being saved from fuel subsidy going back and helping the Nigerian people? This morning I was just having, yesterday night and even until this morning, I was having conversations with my friends like, looking at Nigeria at 63, do you feel like, it's our birthday. So on a birthday like this, you're supposed to be happy, you're supposed to be joyous, celebrating. And I was asking, are there things that you love about Nigeria? And honestly, I didn't get a lot of favorable answers, except for maybe in our culture, for Afrobeats music, what our movie industry is doing. But when we look at the current exchange rate, the I&E window, we're having dollars at 1,000 naira to $1. We're having pounds at almost 1,200 to a pound. It's like it's a solemn birthday for me, and this provisional wage increase, I really hope that it is spelled out properly, because that 6 months caveat and even 25, they were asking for what, almost I think about 300% increase, and this in itself doesn't really move the mark. They're supposed to start the protest tomorrow, the strike tomorrow. Does that mean that maybe NLC is going to now pause now that the president has said that there's going to be an additional 25,000? Only time will tell.
That's a good question. You know, will it stop or halt the strike for tomorrow?
I don't, except that it's another last-minute engagement between the federal government and Labour. I don't see how this promise of an award of a provisional wage increment will assuage, you know, the Labour. Their demands are very clear, and I think that they speak for the generality, you know, of the workers. You can't bring on board policies that are driving inflation upward, that appear to be impoverishing, you know, majority of Nigerians, and then say stylishly that a 35,000 minimum wage is not sustainable. By the time the analysis, you know, start coming out, you see that what the president has said without announcing it is that the government can't even afford a 100% increment, which therefore means that don't even think about 60,000 minimum wage. Is saying 25,000 like an award. Award, in my opinion, could know something like a dash, and that it will be temporary. I'm not sure whether he said 6 months, but he said something like between 3 to 6 months,
no,
or something.
6 months. He definitely
okay,
said 6 months.
6 months.
The next 6 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How is that different from the 10,000 dash that a few state governments are said to be giving workers in form of palliative? So what the president has stylishly announced is another form of palliative that will be temporary, and that is far from what the Labour is asking for. I'm not sure if there will be so much excitement about it. At what point will it start? From which, budget head are you going to pick
that was the first thing I thought about, Steve.
Exactly.
I'm like, is this a new budget for this 25,000?
Will there be a new appropriation?
Yes.
You know, to cater for this, and who is it covering?
He said that the average workers,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if it is the civilian workers or just the poorest of the poor. So he said average workers. So, I mean, 25,000 naira per month additionally.
Yeah.
It's just that budget. I don't know, what was your calculation you said?
I mean, right now it's 30 plus 25. That's giving us what, 55,000 naira.
That would be for those at the lowest rung.
Yes, the average low grade worker.
Yes,
Yeah.
average, yes.
For federal workers. Of course, you will be talking, specifically about federal workers. But what does that mean? Will he graduate in terms of percentage to the highest earning directors and permanent secretaries? If it won't, because that will cost the government, a whole lot. Because what we will have to do first will be to say what is the percentage of 25,000 to what the lowest paid worker, the minimum wage, earning worker are earning currently. And if you use that as a percentage, it simply means that you apply the same percentage to that of a PAMSEC or a director or an assistant director. It shoots up the wage bill. But then if you say that it's an award, therefore, don't calculate anything, just add 25,000 per month for the next 6 months. So everybody gets 25,000 in addition. Where is the money coming from? When is it starting?
When does it start? Thank you. Because
is it at the end of October? Which therefore means that in the last 3 months of this year, it wouldn't have been budgeted for. You have to look for money to fund it. For the next 3 months of the new year, January to March, you will have to appropriate it, because you are dashing out money that will run into billions, given the workforce, the size of the federal workforce. These are things that the government will have to explain further, and I think that either the finance minister or somebody will have to pick it up from the idea. It's an idea, as far as I'm concerned, that the president has dropped on the table. But he will have to, whoever will explain it will have to do a lot better so that it doesn't end up like the student loan scheme, for example, which was fanciful as an idea.
Absolutely.
But then we haven't seen anything.
We haven't
absolutely
heard
nothing.
anything after that.
Students are going to return to schools, to institutions from next week. But we're not aware that anybody has been awarded or will be awarded or will be entitled to getting how much, of the student loan thing. My understanding of the of today's speech is first and foremost to congratulate the president. I mean, this is his first October 1st thing.
Yes.
But if you dissect what he has said in terms of tone and importance and put it side by side with President Muhammadu Buhari's first October 1st speech in 2015, you will see similarities in terms of tone and in terms of intention. All the president has done is to first assess by himself the things that he has done in 4 months and then push forward, what he wants us to, walk the path with him. And is very consistent with the policies that is trying to, of course, the policies that he has brought on board. The removal of subsidy on the one hand, and then the forex, dollar, everything, and market. Are these the best that Nigerians can get at this point? Because if you go back to 2015 when Buhari was talking on October 1st, essentially it was basically castigating his predecessor, Goodluck Jonathan, and promising to do things differently. 8 years down the line, we saw in terms of numbers, in terms of sectoral evaluation, you see that, practically to the pocket and to the lives of an average Nigerian, things got worse badly. We're not talking of 4 years or 8 years after Buhari, we're talking 4 months. And dollar has moved from 400, naira to 7 something in the I&E window, and then 1,000 naira, in the parallel market. We're talking of 195, 185 per liter of petrol. Subsidy has been removed, so we were told we're dealing with 600 plus. But then is some subsidy come back through the back door, given what is happening to the crude, in the international market? So much so that people are saying that if the cost of the crude per liter, will now be something close to 900, if not more, who is taking care of the cost? The differential between 615 or thereabout that we are buying fuel and the 900 that it's supposed to be. A subsidy return? If subsidy has returned silently, then what's the point of the policy that we announced on the 29th of May, 2023? But in all this, for me, beyond talk, what are the grand takeaways? I can't seem to find any.
I like the fact that he said he was going to introduce, a training sector for transportation, and also to introduce the CNG conversion kits. I mean, I think that is so important because it will, help.
It says the buses will start coming in soon.
Soon. That's
how soon?
It's always soon. You never get like an actual timing. I agree with you 100%. Because I was looking at it as you were talking, like what exactly can we take away from it? And we're looking at the new CNG conversion kits. And it's supposed to be an all-hands-on-deck situation to help fast-track the usually lengthy procurement process. He spoke about the training facilities and workshops that are being set up across the nation to train and provide new opportunities for transport operators and entrepreneurs. And he actually referred to it as a groundbreaking moment where, as a nation, we're looking to embrace a more efficient means to power our economy. And he actually, a groundbreaking moment. I don't know, it would have been nice if, this October 1st, we were actually seeing these training facilities, not
or just
hearing
the
about
unveiling of the CNG buses, because it's also coming from the private sector. If you recall, they had meetings with these oil marketers, and some people promised to donate those buses. But I mean, it would have been nice, maybe they'll unveil it later today. It would be nice to see see that that is even included
he will have mentioned
in
it.
his,
Yes,
because I mean the biggest takeaway for him, he
Yes.
says he's hailing his policy of removing the subsidy at this point, and he is really proud of that. So I mean, if you're so proud of the subsidy removal, what is it? What is that immediate thing that you're going to introduce at this moment to help alleviate that
Oji, yesterday we had a
issue?
Dr. Sam Faleye in the studio who was into electric cars. What he did was that he drove to the studio with a sample of what he's unveiling tomorrow.
Yes.
Even though he's got a huge expanse of land in Ikorodu where those cars will be manufactured. That's been intentional.
Yes.
That's been, proactive. So when the president tells us, just to give us a feel-good factor that, oh, this will come soon, this will be done later, it doesn't give assurance.
No.
It doesn't give the kind of hope, let alone renewing, hope. So I can't, when I talk about grand takeaways, I'm talking about grand takeaways that will highlight the fact that let's begin to change things, intentionally. This is Africa's biggest country by population and by GDP. But guess what? There is no national carrier. Okay, some other people will argue that, forget about national carriers, they are no longer feasible. Have a flag carrier. We haven't got one. Are you turning hairpiece into a flag carrier? For example,
I mean, it is a flag carrier, by the way.
Well, okay.
There's a huge difference between
in
national
the sense,
carrier.
Oh, I
and
know that.
flag
I'm saying that a
carrier.
flag carrier in the sense that you can say that when Emirates and the like are making a mess of themselves, when BA says, oh no, we don't kill them, we can say this is our own.
Yes.
I mean, FPC is still fighting to get to Heathrow. For example. A flag carrier will go to practically everywhere that you have other planes coming in.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Where's our national stadium? We're still struggling to fix it, either in Lagos or in Abuja.
I mean,
what
we're
is the
even
state
just
of our
talking
national
about
museum, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things that make a nation, a giant nation, a serious nation. And we saw that 8 years of the former government, in spite of all the fanciful talks and ideas, all these things are still there. Look at how Hidi Serika messed up the whole thing, of Nigeria Air.
We're talking about inaugurating this whole transportation sector. The Nigeria Labour Congress yesterday. I mean, for this celebration of the 63rd anniversary of our independence, they came up with a circular titled "Nigeria: The Travails of a Mismanaged Giant." And they talked about the fact that, like you just mentioned, where is our, Nigeria Airways?
Yeah.
They also talked about the fact that we used to have manufacturing plants here in Nigeria. We had Peugeot, we had Mercedes, and at this point, what can Nigeria, Volkswagen, what can Nigeria boast of? Maybe just the innocent. It's just the innocent motor. This innocent.
And that's
this
the private citizen really just taking it upon himself to make sure that they can
absolutely
create.
Now, until we begin to create those types of sectors, we cannot say that Nigeria will move forward in progressing forward. But I also liked his closing remarks where he thanked the civil society, Nigeria Labour Congress. He talked about the fact that even though they have differences, he likes the fact that they are able to sit on the table and negotiate, and he respects their contributions. But I mean, overall, we'll see if these promises,
Has the president sat
even
with Labour in 4 months?
After that meeting, we haven't seen.
No, I mean
that.
Since he became president.
Yes, he did.
Has he entertained them?
Yes,
personally?
Absolutely.
Personally.
Absolutely, Steve Ayorinde. They met together. Remember, there was I believe it was August 2nd, there was supposed to be a protest.
Yes.
And, the president invited them and they sat and that was how the protest got truncated. So that as well. So he did recognize the Nigeria Labour Congress and their contributions. But I mean, overall, I think that, the president means well. This is my take from that. He has made a lot of promises, especially with
that has become a cliche, hasn't it?
I mean, what can we do? we were not in his mind, we're not in his administration, but this is all their promises. I mean, no one's coming out to not say that they don't mean well. Yeah. This is what he wants for our nation. He wants a great nation, and we hope that all of his promises in this Independence Day speech will be kept, especially even with the poorest of the poor. I like that opening the National Social Register net to 15, safety net
What does it mean?
to 15 million households. Yesterday, I saw Betta Edu go to Makoko, and she went to try to recapture that area, and she said that the people that were captured in the past administration were, some were on that register, but there were others that were left behind. And he said this is another initiative from the Tinubu administration that he really wants to capture the poorest of the poor. So hopefully we'll see her go. It's not just Makoko. I believe that was her first stop. She's going to go around and see.
Even as we wrap up, I think another thing that really stood out for me was when the president did pledge a thorough house cleaning of the den of malfeasance that the CBN has become. He did say that the house cleaning is underway. Of course, a new leadership for the central bank has been constituted. We have 4 new deputy governors as well. And he also said, my special investigator will soon present his findings on past lapses and how to prevent similar reoccurrences. So henceforth, we're looking at the monetary policy being for the benefit of all and not the exclusive province of the rich and wealthy. So this one, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this special investigator that the president really, trust in will be able to present when it comes to, because dollar and pounds is really...
It was at the guess.
The reports are all there. They're out there anyway.
Absolutely.
At this point.
Yeah.
All of those
But we also can't close this without acknowledging the fact that the president also, had kind words for the military.
Yes, that as well.
And remember those who have paid the supreme, a price. I think that's empathy, which is a good one from a leader of a country. The other thing will be to say, focus a lot more, because in 4 months, people are still dying. People are still being kidnapped, and the military will have to rise up. And as the commander-in-chief, he will have to demonstrate capacity that he can secure Nigeria.
I like that. Well said, guys.